Welcome to Coaching in Session,
where limits end and growth begins.
Hosted by Michael Rearden.
This is your space to challenge the ordinary,
unlock your potential,
and step boldly into your next chapter.
Your mindset journey continues.
I'm sure you probably realize that there is not enough time in the day to do all the things that you want to do. You might ask, how in the world am I going to have time to go to work, hang out with the kids, cook dinner, go to the gym, find some enjoyable time for myself, be with my partner, and then get ready to do it all again the next following day? There are many different things that require our attention. Time is going to be one of the limiting factors. Sometimes you might hear people say that they don't have time for something. I don't have time to hang out with my kids. I'm busy working. I don't have time to go on dates with my spouse. We're always working, or the kids take up all of the time. We don't have time to go to the gym or to the doctors because we're so busy with everything that's happening. And I can understand that there can be different seasons where maybe you're in the season of education, where you're in school and you have a full day of school. Not to mention, if you're younger, you might be doing extracurricular activities. You're going to soccer, volleyball, basketball, all of these different things, and you don't necessarily have an abundance of time. All of your time is being taken. I remember there was a individual, Patrick Bet-Davis. He has a podcast, and he was talking about his boys, and his boys are in many different things. They do gymnastics, they do basketball, soccer, swimming, martial arts. They do a lot of things, and it's packed in their day where they have almost no free time, no spare time. And one day, one of the boys was asking the father, why are we so busy? My friends are not as busy as we are. They don't do all the stuff that we do. They have time to go outside and play. They have time to go play video games. They have time to go to the movies or to be on their phones. And he simply says, Bet-Davis says, he goes, well, if you are Davis, or, using his last name, if you are part of this family, then you are going to have this type of schedule. Because he understood that giving them responsibilities, giving them commitments, things that are going to help them grow would be of a benefit to them. But the problem is, eventually they're going to make a choice for themselves. Are they going to keep on with this busy schedule, or are they going to find some solace in not having to do all the things that they have been doing? So are they going to keep on going full throttle, or are they going to let off the gas and they're going to start coasting? All of this leads to the conversation today that time can be our ally, and we need to figure out how to do it. And luckily for us, we have an article here, Time as Your Ally, how to structure your life to support your goals. Now, goals is going to be the key word here, because we can use our time for whatever we want. We can use our time to prop us up, or we can use our time to keep us stagnant, keep us where we are. Keeping us where we are can feel okay because we're not going backwards. But the problem with going or staying where you are is that the world is going to keep on moving with or without us. With or without our consent, the world is going to change. Let's think about money, for example. If I gave you $1 million and I say, okay, make sure you use this money wisely, you might say, great, I have this money. I'm not going to spend it on materialistic goods. I'm just going to put it under my mattress, and I'm just going to keep it safe, right? Michael doesn't want me to use this money wrongly, so I don't want to disappoint him. Well, the money that you have under your mattress, even though it stays $1 million, the buying power is actually going to go down due to inflation. So maybe 4% of that money is not going to be there in the sense of what it could buy a year ago or a year prior. So if we know that our money needs to grow, we can put into our mind that we need to grow as well. So within a year's span, that money has lost 4%. How much do we lose every single year where we don't give ourselves the possibility for investment or investing in ourselves, or the possibility for growth. This right here is we need to be able to support what we want that money to do, what we want us to do, our body, our mind to do for the end result. Now, the goals are going to be different for everybody, right? You can have a goal of starting a business. You can have a goal in being in a relationship. You can have a goal of just hanging out on all the beaches in the world, right? All of this to say is that regardless of what you want to do, there's going to be a time constraint. And you have to choose, hopefully wisely, where you're going to put your time, where you're going to put your focus, and what are you going to sacrifice just so you can reach these goals. Time, like I said, people will say that they don't have it because they have commitments, whether it be a parent or a worker or a boss or CEO. We know that there's going to be responsibilities, especially as adults, that we have to commit to. But then we have to understand that there's going to be temporary commitments and there's going to be long-term commitments. Being a parent can be both. It can be a temporary and it can also be a long-term commitment. Think of when your children are younger. It is going to be a full-on commitment where you have to make sure they're fed, they're safe. They can't do anything. They need you for almost everything. Eventually, they grow up enough. Fast forward to adolescence, where they're teens, they're self-sufficient. They can go in the fridge. They can get their own food. They can walk to the corner store, buy something that they need. They are starting to live for themselves. Now, this is a different dynamic when you have children. Now, your time is all there. You have to be there, and you have to understand that whatever they need, you have to accomplish for them. So your time is limited. But then you start to get back that time when they're teens and especially when they're adults. So now you have some flexibility there. What happens with parents when they gain back that flexibility is that they don't do anything with it. They just say, oh, yeah, my kids are out of the house. I'm an empty nester. And they spend most of the time on social media or hanging out, doing nothing. And there's no progression in life. But yet these same people say that they don't have enough time. They might have canceled going to the gym. They might have stopped doing hobbies and interests that maybe it was their zone of genius, and they don't get back into it. So we have to understand that sometimes in life, we're going to have moments where we have to make a sacrifice in a sense for a period of time. Let's call it a season of life. And we have to understand that if we want our life to be structured, we have to understand that there's going to be some times where things are ordering and we're waiting for the order, right? They're being processed and we're just waiting. And then there's going to be times when the order is here and we have to do something with it. Imagine a builder getting all the materials they need for a home and they choose not to build a home, right? Oh, the weather's not right. Oh, it's too dark out, daylight savings or whatever it be. So we have to understand we have to dissolve this way of thinking. If we have what it takes, if we have what we need, then we need to start. It's not about the right time or the perfect moment. We need to say, if this is our goal, what do we need to do to structure it? Now, we might not know how to do that quite yet, especially if you're a person that is inconsistent with everything you do. You have this goal and that goal and this ambition. You've never learned anything about finance or accounting or investing or even just making a to-do list. You basically have no responsibilities until you're thrown into the real world where they're telling you to be responsible. Well, this is something that you have to learn at a young age, and it's the parents' responsibility to do so, to make sure that the children are equipped for the real world. Yet schools don't do it, parents don't do it. So we have a bunch of people that are in my office that don't know how to be adults, that don't know how to operate or structure their time in their day to help them to get what they want. They have ideas, they have goals, they have purpose, they might even know their why. But it's not enough to simply know what you need to do. You need to know how to manage it. Think of if you had like all of this abundance, right? You had all of this money, but you don't have any prowess for the money. Yeah, sure. You might think that you have to buy some hotels. You think you have to buy some stocks or whatever. And before you know it, maybe all the money's gone. Maybe you lose it. Well, I think you have to lose money in order to realize, hey, let me not lose this, right? It's like if you have a bucket of water and the water has a hole in it. And even though you might know that the bucket has a hole in it, you still say, okay, I think I can get to where I want to go quick enough, even if this hole is there. And before you know it, you get to your destination, there's not much water left. Most of it already fell out from the hole or through the hole. And you have to ask yourself, well, what if I have done something different? What if I made sure that there was no hole there and I made sure I patched it up before I transported all of this water? You would have more water at the end of it. Now, that's the money, the faucet for money. Now, even when I was younger, I didn't have anyone to help me with money. I didn't have a rich dad. I didn't have anyone to say, hey, this is what you do with your money. I had to learn through trial and error in a sense, where even though you might have some level of prowess in money, unless you, again, had a great upbringing and you had a good experience with money at a very young age and you had the opportunity to lose when you were younger, like I'm talking about 7 to 11, where you had an opportunity to lose money, you wouldn't throw it away when you were 18, 19, 20, which most people do. This is why an inheritance can be a bad thing, because a child is given all of this money and they don't know how to manage it. They can inherit it. Yes, it's easy to get, to receive, but to manage is a different story. So we need to understand that with our time, can we give some attention to the future, to the goals that we may want? Well, I think if we're looking at life for it to be structured, there is a way that it can be done where you learn what you need to learn when you need to learn it. You need to do what you need to do when you need to do it. For example, on Thursdays here where I live is trash day. I know I need to take out the trash on Thursday. If I don't, I'm going to have a bunch of trash at my house and I have to choose, okay, am I going to wait another week or am I going to take this to the dump myself? Well, I don't want to take it to the dump myself. Why would I give myself more problems? I don't have enough time as it is. So why would I give myself another constraint? So I make sure that I am not going to do things that are going to waste my time. It would take me 30 seconds to bring the receptacle to the sidewalk, and it would take me 15 minutes to take it to the dump. I save a little bit of time, yes. You might ask, well, what's the difference between 14 minutes and 30 seconds? It can mean everything, because it is enough time for you to get thrown off from your access. Most people don't realize that they are structured in a way where they can be focused and primed for things, or they can just be diluted and absent from truly making progress. When you wake up in the morning, either you got it or you don't. You can find yourself very quickly distracted in our world today. There are so many things to distract us. Hell, I don't even know if people feel bored anymore, because they're just things that can make you not bored or make you lose focus. One of the things that's funny when it comes to time and goals, in the sense, is my kids, they don't get a phone when they're driving or when they're at the table. Typically they are there, they can look around, they can do whatever they need to do, they can ask questions, we can have conversations. We use our time like that. Most people, we use time to be on their phone, to be distracted, and then they wonder why they don't have a good life. Well, you're using your time incorrectly. I'm sure your goal is not to be on your phone for 24 hours a week, but yet if you look at the log, because you can see your phone usage, you can see how much time you're on your phone. And if you ever look at it, you might say, whoa, I'm spending too much time on my phone. Now, we can't go cold turkey. We know that's going to be challenging. But we can say, instead of spending 24 hours, why not spend 20 this week or next week? And then we try to bring it down by an hour. And before the end of the year, we should have hopefully curbed that 24 hours definitely in half, if not almost all the way. This is for me not to say that you don't use your phone for business or for some level of growth. This is for me to say that most people are using it for entertainment. Most people just want to be entertained. These same people will be out of shape and they will be looking in the mirror and they might still tell themselves a comforting lie that they're beautiful. Yet they can see that there are going to be areas where they want to make improvement. They know that if they can change their body or they can change their situation, that things will be better. Most people are not going to say, oh, I'm in a really great spot. I don't want anything to change. Okay, well, if you can say that, wonderful. But if I start enticing you with better things, is it enough to get you to change that sentiment? So you don't want more money because I have some money in my pocket. I was trying to give it to you, but you said you're in a good situation, so I don't want to give you anything that's going to throw you off kilter. Well, no. I will always take some more money, right? Now we're saying, okay, so you want or do you need? What would this money do for you? What would you change if I gave it to you? What goals would change? What goals would adjust? And maybe nothing changes, but maybe you say, I would travel more. I would do this more. And now that you have more resources, you have more flexibility. Time we know is going to be finite, but the goals or what we can use time for can lead us to things. Now, there is going to be a poor mindset there. Most people, they trade time for money, where now they're stingy with their money because they understand how valuable time is. They work 8 hours a day, are finding themselves short at the end of every single week. And it's a rat race. They're struggling. They're trying to figure out, well, I just don't have enough time in my day. This mentality can be the most dangerous because they have developed a routine from working a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday to make ends meet. And they're always going to be finding themselves short. They're struggling. And that becomes their life, their style. And they're not doing much to change it. So if we know that people are living this life, how do we get them out of that? How do we get them out of looking at time as just something where they trade for money rather than using their time for their goals, which will hopefully, if done correctly, create abundance more than just a paycheck, but it could be a lifetime of wealth. Well, we have to look at this idea of being flexible with our time, with our day. We can do different things at different times. Sometimes we can save the world, and sometimes we just need to figure out how we're going to make it through to the end of the day. On the days when we have an abundance of energy and focus, we should get the most done with our time. And we're going to find that we are highly effective with our time. And if you do it long enough, you're going to find that you can be effective more than just by luck, but on purpose. So this is saying that now you can be more on purpose with what you need to do with your time, and you can always find time for the things that matter. I will find time for my family. I will find time for my clients and my works. I will find time to hang out with my kids. This right here is to say, what will you find time for? And what will you not find time for? You shouldn't find time to be on your smartphone. Oh, I want to make a little bit of time to be on my smartphone. And I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying that if you do it, can you plan for it? Can you say, okay, I've been a good boy, good girl all week. Let me be on my smartphone for an hour on Saturday, right? And this is after I do all my high energy tasks. You just want to just veg out. You just want to recoup. You just want to relax. And there's nothing wrong with saying, all right, let me relax. Let me sit back and put my feet up and let me recuperate, because the mind, especially today, can be so busy. It can have so much going on, so much stress. So we understand that sometimes the stress can stop us from our goals and we need time to recuperate. But that's not going to be every single day. I know people take every single day. Well, I had a long day at work. I worked 8 hours, 12 hours. I need to come home and just watch Netflix and eat junk food. Okay, I get it. but it shouldn't happen every single day. We need to give ourselves routines. We need to give ourselves disciplines. We need to be flexible and structured with our time. And we need to be paying close attention to how our time is spent. One of the apps I used to use quite a bit, especially in the beginning of personal development structuring, is TickTick. And it's basically just an Android app where you can literally go by the hour and say what you should be doing. And it is easy for you to look back at the day and saying, okay, did I go to work from 9 to 12 or did I do work from 9 to 12? Did I reach my goal during that period of 9 to 12 of making $400 or whatever it be for the day? Did I have a good lunch from 12 to 1 or did I skip it? Did I find myself slacking around the afternoon time or did I get back and do my emails where I'm supposed to focus? So you get to figure out what are you doing with your time. Now, if you structure everything correctly, you're going to find that everything supports something, right? Your money can support your family. It can support your business growth through marketing or just even yourself knowing that your business is doing well, that you want to keep on doing it. People like things that work. I can't tell you how many times when someone starts something and they're really good at it, that they keep on going with it. The things that are hard, the things that are challenging, the things that don't work, people will make excuses. Oh, I tried it. It didn't work. And now I don't have time to keep on going with it. It was a huge time sink. It was a huge time commitment. I don't want to invest any more time. Anyone can say this about time, but the people who can get a lot done in their day, they have mastered not only what time is, but their schedule. Because if we think of time as a resource, it's going to be a finite resource. It's not infinite. We only have a certain amount of time on this planet. One day we're going to be out of time, and that's death. So we can say that we have an abundance of time when we're young, because we do typically. And then when we're middle age, we can say, oh my goodness, I better hurry up because retirement is going to be there before I know it. And then when you're at retirement, you're going to use what time is left, hopefully to relax or to enjoy. But most people in our world today are using that retirement age to continue to work, to continue to struggle, because they didn't use their time properly at every given point that they were given. Anyone can complain about not having enough time, but can you complain that you have so much time that you don't have enough goals yet? I mean, that's a great mindset to have. So we just need to give ourselves more goals because we have all this flexibility and we have all of this potential for our further betterment. Now, I, for one, know that if I can put in a bunch of work right now and I can coast, yeah, I would definitely like that. But I know deep down inside that when I'm coasting, I'm going to be agitated and I want to start again. So sure, I'm going to use my time right now the way it needs to be used and I'm going to reach my goals. But I understand that later on, it's going to be the same process repeated. I'm going to use my time for more of my goals because I don't want to be at 65 or at 80, whatever, or 90 or whatever, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm over here saying, oh, I wish I, didn't waste my time. I wish I got more done. Right now is the opportunity. I can get a whole bunch done and I know how to be effective. Do you? And in this article, Time as Your Ally, how to structure your life to support your goals. In this article, we talk about the structure aspect quite a lot because the structure is really going to set you up. It's going to set your mind up. It's going to set your day up. It's going to set your life up to help you realize where time is being wasted and where time can be refocused or readjusted. And from there, right there, you're going to see that more goals can be possible. Instead of saying that you don't have enough time, you're going to be looking for goals where you can put in all this extra time. You're going to stop needlessly wasting time on your phone or doing the things that are not going to bring about any betterment. And this is not to say that you can't enjoy life. If you want to go golfing, if you want to go hang out with your friends, it's not a waste of time. Time is wasted when there's no growth, there's no joy into it. John Lennon says that time enjoyed spent is not time wasted. Can you say you truly enjoy your time every single day? Most people will be in a situation that they don't like, that they will like to change. And that right there is a cue for saying that the things that you're doing are not bringing about full joy into your life. If you're stressed, if you're overworked, there needs to be some level of adjustment that needs to occur. Of course, you can reach out to us at revenconcepts.com, get yourself a consultation, learn how you can structure your life to support your goals. If not, the link is right down below for the article. Whichever one you choose, understand that time is going to continue to pass. It's like the sand in the hourglass, and eventually that sand is going to be depleted. So take this opportunity to not allow time to slip through your fingers anymore. Learn how to grasp it, to structure it, and to utilize it toward all of your goals and all of your dreams.